We're tracking after a home explosion in Westminster. The explosion happened around 2:30 this morning, and now as daylight breaks, we are getting a close look at the damage out there.
And we have team coverage on the scene in this neighborhood near US 36 and Federal, again in Westminster. Starting with Denver 7's Colette Bordelon. Colette, you've seen neighbors come out of their homes to take a look at the damage. How are they doing, and what are you seeing on the ground?
Actually, what I'm seeing on the ground are pieces of what looks like this home that exploded. This was picked up literally just right here in front of me. Down on the ground, you can even see more bits right here. And this is actually a whole house over. Check out that damage back there from where that house used to stand. Both homes on either side of it are damaged, we're told. We're also told several cars that were on the road also experienced some damage out here. Neighbors absolutely shocked to hear that loud boom at around 2:30 this morning. I talked with one man who said artwork fell off of his walls. He even thought at first that a car could have hit his home.
Just shaking and just fear, you know. It's like, what happened? What happened? It's just so unexpected.
The answer to that question of what happened still being investigated out here by several people working through the cold. I am told the cold obviously slows down a lot of things, makes it a bit more difficult on all ends. We don't have any reports of injuries. We still don't know if the home was occupied, so that could of course change. Live in Westminster, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
And Colette was chatting with you all about the damage to those neighboring homes. We have a good view of that, and we have a good view of what's left of the house here that exploded. You can see there, we mentioned this earlier, you're not seeing too many burned, charred items here. You're seeing just a lot of home items thrown all over the place. A microwave, couch cushions, and then if we move a bit up top, there's a tree right over here. You can see so many of those items got caught in there. Insulation, just random papers, cardboard boxes. It gives you a vantage point of what this explosion was like. We spoke to a neighbor who lives right in front of this home, and he actually has a Ring camera right on his front door. Take a look at this video. You can see and you can also hear that boom from when the home right in front of it exploded. This morning, like we mentioned again earlier, not seeing any firefighters out here now. It's all Excel crews. They're all working in this area. As far as those two neighboring homes go, they did have some window damage. Those have been boarded up already, but we'll stick around. We'll chat with some more people and continue bringing you some video and some pictures of what's going on here in Westminster. Guys, back to you.
Amazing to see that damage out there, that debris on the ground, and is covered in snow. As you can see, we got some snowfall overnight, and some places are in the single digits, though, feeling like it's below zero with the wind chill this morning. Lisa, we're not going to get a warm up till the weekend.
No, I feel for those crews and those guys out there working this morning, because it is bitter cold, down to near zero. And yeah, we're going to be below freezing until Saturday afternoon. In fact, closer to zero for the next 24 to 36 hours. Right now, you can see from the top of our building here, a little sun actually trying to peek through there, but we're going to be under quite a bit of cloud cover here over the next couple of days. At your dog walking forecast, I'm not so sure I'm going to take mine out. I'm just going to push him out the doggy door and then bring him right back in. We're going to be, well, again, in the single digits this morning, and then right around 10 this afternoon for a high, between about 7 and 10 this afternoon. In the mountains, actually warmer, some teens and 20s as you get off to the west, so a little bit warmer there. That's where all the snow is going to fall, though. Here in town, it's going to be pretty light snow for us, off and on from today through tomorrow. In the mountains, we have a number of winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories down and through the southern San Juans. Jason, as you get closer to Telluride, Durango, up in through Aspen, a good 1 to 3 feet of snow above 10,000 feet. So that's great for the drought conditions and for any skiing down there.
And I think Traffic Cat's going to be, well, burying herself under Jay Lynn's covers as deep as she can get. Right now we have those changing road conditions. Look at I-25. It actually looks somewhat clear in a lot of these places, like over at Central Park, and then out to the west side of town, like on C-470, you're still seeing the snow cover there. And up here at I-25, 120th, you see the slow traffic crash up there on that ramp. Take a look at the other 4 cameras. We're out to the west, Highway 36, the drive on Denver West over at I-70. These truckers have to chain it up as they're going to be heading to the west because there is quite a bit of snow out that way. But it looks like it's drying on I-70 right by that lowered section. So you're going to find the changing road conditions depending on where you're going here this morning. And the drive times really aren't that bad out here to the east side of town, but out to the west side of town and across downtown, downtown, it's a lot worse for you here this morning. Look at over a half an hour, 45 minutes or so, just on that drive on westbound Highway 36, trying to get on up into Boulder this morning. A lot of traffic on 6th Avenue and C470, so it's much slower than normal to the west and not as bad to the east. And it's going to be still very slick conditions on a lot of those side roads here this morning. Tour from the airport, that actually looks okay.
Well, the temperatures are cold enough to do damage to people, pets, and our homes.
Yeah, we can only handle it for so long out there. Denver 7's Katie LaSalle continues our team coverage this morning from Washington Park, and people just need to layer up like you are this morning.
Oh, absolutely. Brian, Nicole, good morning to you. Prolonged periods of time with exposed skin, it can be dangerous. Frostbite actually a real concern, especially with sub-zero temperatures and over the eastern plains where we're seeing those wind chill warnings. Now here right now at Wash Park, it is cold. Have seen plenty of hardy Coloradans though out and about. You want to layer up and make sure that you don't spend too much time outdoors. It's actually on average that we see when we hit below zero, only 30 minutes it takes for sometimes exposed skin to contract frostbite. And we spoke to a doctor at Aurora Medical Center for more on the injuries they see.
Frostbite injuries are typically in the fingers and toes, those kind of things. And they're typically in areas that are exposed to cold temperatures for prolonged periods of times, or if the clothing is wet. If it's wet and cold, much more risk for getting frostbite.
So the skin, it'll become very cold, numb, pale, and it's usually cured with just a gradual warming over time for minor frostbite, but sometimes it will require medical attention for those more severe cases. So bottom line today, it is going to stay very cold. Make sure you're covered up, limit time outdoors, just protect yourself. And also coming up at 8:30, we have more on ways to protect our furry friends here on Denver 7. Reporting live in Wash Park, Katie LaSalle, back to you.
Yeah, the fur, not enough to protect them on days like this. Thank you, Katie. Xcel has some reminders to try to conserve energy. It says lower your thermostat to 58 degrees when you're not home, and some other ways to save money on your energy bill. Make sure your filters in your furnace are clean so that it doesn't have to work as hard. You can also lower the temperature on your water heater. Lowering it by 10 degrees can save you between 3 and 5% on water heating costs. You can always track conditions for your neighborhood anytime by downloading the free Denver 7 Plus app for your cell phone or streaming device. We have a 24/7 weather stream, radar, and hour-by-hour forecast. You can download that right now for your Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or Android device.
Also this morning, family and friends are mourning the loss of 5 people who died from a heavy dose of fentanyl.
Fentanyl's no good, man. It's the devil. It must have just took him just like that.
The victims here range in age from 24 to 32 years old.
Yeah, one of them was the son of Dan Marquez, who spoke with us from his front porch in North Denver. He said his son, Sam, was one of 5 people who died from fentanyl poisoning in Commerce City. He also lost a daughter-in-law and son-in-law.
Dan believes the group thought they were doing cocaine. The district attorney has confirmed the cause of death, though, was fentanyl. Most of the time, people don't know that's what they're taking, and this tragedy is the latest destruction caused by a very dangerous drug in our state. And for those who have lost a loved one to fentanyl, keeping their memory alive is key to make sure they're not overshadowed by the substance that took them away.
Sam, he's a good guy. He's 24, loved his job, always talking about his job, talking about his new daughter. He loved his daughter. Said, that's the new love of my life.
So he is caring for her. His son's newborn daughter was in the bedroom of the apartment at the time. A 6th adult was also there and survived. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center warns this week our state could see the most dangerous avalanche conditions so far this season. This is the current avalanche map. You can see most of the high country is under a moderate risk right now, but that level of danger is expected to rise as the storms pass through because, Lisa, the mountains will be getting a lot more snow than we will be here in the metro.
Yeah, down here, maybe just a few inches. Up there could see a few feet of snow, and that's going to continue through, it looks like, the end of the week. Today and tomorrow, we're going to be in the 20s, so it's actually going to be warmer there. It's not often that I say that if you want some warmer weather, head off to the west. Down here, single digits and teens today and tomorrow. We'll take a closer look at when we will be back in the 20s and 30s coming up.
You can see how much more snow we have out to the west right now. It is very snowy on C470, so very slick conditions for us here just south of I-70. We have chain and traction laws to the west from here, and it's going to be very slick on 285 as well. We'll take a look at the other conditions, which aren't so bad to the east, coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, throughout the hour, we will be keeping you updated on the breaking news out of Westminster, where a home exploded overnight. There is still an active scene there, and from this live picture, you can see just how much damage was done. Debris everywhere thrown from that home from the force of that explosion. We'll have live updates coming up.
Also, the U.S. is ready to crack down on Russia's threat against Ukraine with tougher sanctions. Our team has the newest developments from Washington this morning.